Welcome to your yoga practice. In this video, we are going to do a psoas release. So I want to take a few minutes just to talk about the psoas just a little bit to give you a heads up as to where we're going, and then we will get into our practice. So the psoas is arguably the most important skeletal muscle in the human body, and I would even say the most important. It is fascinating, and we're not going to go into everything around it because I could talk for a very long time, but I want you to know a few things about it that make it incredibly unique. First of all, it starts right in the middle of the torso. It's attached to the front of the spine, right at the base of your ribs, and it runs down through the pelvis and attaches to your upper inner thigh. It is the only muscle that spans the torso to the legs. All other muscles go from the torso to the pelvis and the pelvis to the legs, which is one of the things that makes it incredibly unique. The body taps into it inappropriately, shall we say, when it needs a little extra support, when other muscles aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it can cause issues with the knees, the lower back, neck issues. I mean, I've had students who have had relief from jaw tension when they do the psoas release. It is also located in our fear center. So when you get that gut feeling, that feeling of tension when you're feeling scared, that's your psoas contracting. Okay, and your psoas holds on to that fear unless you're intentionally releasing it, which is why what we're going to be doing today is one of the most beneficial things you can do for your body. Now, add to that the fact that the psoas is the second most emotionally reactive muscle in the body, second only to the heart. It reacts pretty easily. Now, you're in for a treat because releasing it will give you the deepest Savasana ever. So we're definitely going to be ending in a nice long Savasana for you today. Now, there are three parts to a psoas release. The first part is the constructive rest. We do that in the beginning. It's a full about 17 minutes. So it's a long time that we're going to be hanging out there, but I will talk you through things to think about to help you relax. The second step is to contract the muscle, to actually kind of wake it up. And then the last part is to stretch it. Now in this practice, we're going to do a few things in there as well for the other parts of the body to give you a little bit more of a complete practice, which will give you an even better Shavasana. Now, if you enjoy this, I recommend checking out my Saturday morning class. I teach a virtual live psoas release full class where we do a little bit, the rest of the body as well, just like we're going to do in this video. So I will link to that below. And if you want to learn more about the psoas, I will be teaching a live virtual workshop very soon. I will put the link below and I will turn it into a video afterwards. The link will lead you either to the live workshop or to the video if it's after that. All right, so if you're ready, let's get into our practice. For this practice, you're going to need two props. You're going to need a block for sure. If you don't have a block in a pinch, you can use a really thick book. We have used unabridged dictionaries in the past if we need a little bit more. If this feels too high, there are half blocks out there if you happen to have one, or again, a hardcover book that's a little bit smaller will work. I also definitely recommend having a lift, and you're going to understand that even more after doing the psoas release. Okay, before we begin, I want to do two befores. Two things that you're probably going to notice a difference as a result of the psoas. Maybe you'll notice a difference. The first one is sitting. So off of your lift, come right onto the floor. I want you to sit into Sukhasana, so your feet are underneath your knees. And as best you can, take a little mental picture on how this feels. In particular, how it feels to get up onto your sit bones. If you feel like you'd really rather be here, if you feel a little bit of a strain, maybe like you're working extra hard to get up here. It's not the pose of ease that Sukhasana actually means. Sukha is ease. So feel that, remember it, and then come down onto your back. And lie in your Shavasana straight knees, nothing underneath the knees. I want you to lie flat and take a breath and just notice how that feels. Often there's a little bit of a hitch in the lower back, or it can feel like you're like off the floor. You know, you're not fully sinking down. Just trying to give you some ideas of what to look for. Okay, now bend the knees. Draw your knees up into your chest and give your knees a hug as you relax the shoulders. Breathe into the belly. Begin to connect with your breath. Connect with your body. And relax your back and your shoulders down into the floor. Rock side to side. Set your feet down and take them wide as your mat. You can adjust if you need to, and then drop your knees in so they touch. We want to have a little internal rotation of the thighs. Now, if that's not comfortable for you to have the knees touch, you can grab the block and put it between your knees. Now, if you're using a book, you can't really put that between your knees. It's too hard to hold. But you could use something else. You could use a tennis ball between your knees. You know, anything that will help your knees touch comfortably. And then take a moment to settle your body. Find your Savasana. Draw your shoulders under. Turn your palms up. Adjust. Feel your breath in your belly. Close your eyes. This is our rest period. It's called constructive rest. And that's because we're not just resting. We are going to go through a process to help begin to unwind and relax the psoas more and more. Step one of this process is simply placing the body. Just like in Savasana, you want to place the body very precisely so that you have a better chance of relaxing, right? You want to place it in a way that helps the body soften. And you can do minor adjustments like turning the toes in or out. Shifting where you're resting on the back of your head, lifting your chin or tucking it down. Adjusting where you're resting on the back of your hand. Next, begin to bring your breath down into your belly. As best you can, keeping the muscles in the upper torso around your jaw, your collarbones. Keep those muscles soft and quiet. And begin to draw your exhale out even more. Make it really long as you can comfortably make it. Feeling your body relax even more as you draw the breath out. Soften your jaw. Soften across your forehead, softening the space between your eyebrows. Feeling your breath in your belly. Relax. We're going to move through the psoas now, softening each of the sections. The psoas is a very intangible muscle, so we're going to use our imagination, which is incredibly powerful for helping us relax. So starting at the origin of the psoas, and again, it's attached directly to the front of the spine. Either side, there are two psoas muscles. They run along the front and the side of the spine. And it begins right at the base of your rib cage. And the front of your spine at the base of your rib cage is about as in the middle of your torso as possible. So if you can imagine that spot, and using your mind's eye, gently encouraging it to soften. Keep your breath in your belly with that gentle exhalation. And use the release of your exhalation to soften that spot. Relax. Soften that spot. Keeping your breath deep in your belly, softening the shoulders and your neck and your jaw. Trace the psoas now down into the abdomen. So just imagine the front of your spine, this muscle attached to either side. Visualize it down into your belly. Imagine it softening. For a few rounds, exaggerate the extension of your stomach as you breathe in. So as you breathe in, push it out even more. And as you exhale, suck it in even more. And just contract the belly a little bit more. Exhale a little bit more air. Just a few rounds here. And relax to your normal breath. Imagine the organs in your abdomen softening as well, and the skin all the way around to the back side. Just feel the whole abdomen, waist area softening. Feel your breath in your belly, keeping the shoulders soft, the neck, the jaw. Feel your slow exhalation as you soften and relax even more. And relax. Moving down deeper, we're tracing the psoas into the pelvis. In the pelvis, the psoas joins with a really large muscle called the iliacus. So the psoas is a little bit more like a cord, and the iliacus is more like a sheath on the back side of the inside of your pelvis. And they join together here to become the iliopsoas. So if you just focus on softening the muscles inside and outside of the pelvis, again, I know the psoas is pretty intangible. You are just working with your imagination. So imagine the inside and the outside of the pelvis softening. Keeping your breath in the belly, nice long, slow exhalation. Just relaxing a little bit more. Keeping the shoulders and neck and jaw soft, begin to take the breath deeper down into the pelvis. See if you can move the pelvic floor with your breath. The pelvic floor has a diaphragm in it that is supposed to, theoretically, move with our breath. But because we hold so much tension around our back and in our bellies and etc., our breath doesn't get that deep. This is a nice time to tap in to that deeper breath. At the same time, keep the shoulders relaxed, your jaw, your neck, etc. Tension tends to creep in when we start to take the breath deeper down. And staying with that really deep belly breath, moving the pelvic floor, finish off our journey along the psoas by bringing our awareness to the insertion, which is that spot right at the upper inner thighs. So softening your upper inner thighs. Relax. Soften your jaw again, and your shoulders and your neck. Relax. Just a few more breaths. Let yourself soften even more. Relax into it. Begin to bring your awareness back by just moving your fingers and your toes, waking your body up, walking your feet in, and removing the block or whatever you used. Take a moment to find your neutral spine. And what I mean by that is the lower back is probably going to be off the floor. It might be on the floor, depending on your own lumbar curve, right? That lower back curve. I want you to find what feels natural, arms out to your side. And then compress your core to keep everything steady. So you don't need to grip it. You're just contracting it to hold it steady as you slowly slide your right leg out. So you're not moving your hips at all, your shoulders, your ribs, you're reaching out through the leg. So the next step is to engage the psoas, basically wake it up. And as you lift the leg, you're just going to come halfway up your shin of the other leg. You want you to feel it in the upper inner thigh at that insertion that we just talked about. So you're very slowly lifting and lowering and waking it up. Now there's a chance in the beginning where you don't even feel it. All you feel is right through your hip flexors. If that's happening for you, touch it. That helps wake it up. And then slide the foot back. Pause, find your center. Theoretically, the center shouldn't shift at all. That's what we're shooting for ultimately. Slide the left leg out and reach through that leg again, keeping the pelvis, ribs, shoulders, everything steady. Slowly lift and lower, going halfway up the other leg, moving from the inner thigh, that upper inner thigh. And breathe. And slide it back. Pause, refine the center. We're going to do one more time to each side. Right leg goes out. Slowly lift and lower. So we're waking up the muscle. Feel that upper inner thigh engaging. And then slide the foot back. Pause. You have one more. Left leg goes out and reach. And then lift. Feel it in the upper inner thigh. Breathe. And release. All right, bend the leg. Bring your knees up into your chest. Release the back. You can rock side to side if that feels good for you. Set the left foot down, cross the right leg over the left leg, bring your left leg up. Relax your shoulders. Just get a nice gentle stretch in through the right piriformis, that right hip area. And release, change sides. And take it down. Bend your knees, roll over to one side, and come on up to sitting. So let's do an after now for Sukhasana to see how it feels. And I do recommend you have your lift handy if you have chosen to have one. So now come back into your Sukhasana without the lift and just notice if you feel a difference. If there's a little less tug on the lower back. This one's subtle. Okay, the Shavasana at the end will not be subtle, probably. It's definitely more dramatic. Now, the reason I recommend a lift for everybody has to do with the psoas, especially when you're in Sukhasana. So if your knee is not below your hip point, okay, which is right there, so my knee is not below it, and nobody's is in Sukhasana because your feet are in the way, right? If I move into this pose, my knee is now below my hip point and it's much more comfortable, right? When I'm here, it pulls on the psoas. You want your hip point above your knee and then it doesn't pull. And you can tell you're straining a little bit here or maybe a lot. Whereas when I bring my hips up, so now my hip point is above my knee, it's like an exhale. There's just relief. And this pose is called Sukhasana, pose of ease. It's supposed to feel like an exhale and not that you're straining. So I recommend that lift. Okay, coming into your Sukhasana, sit up tall. Feel your alignment over your sit bones. And then bring your arms forward and up and overhead. You're going to lift your heart, arc up, twist to your right, lift tall, gently twisting all the way up to the top if you can get there. Come back through the center, sweep the arms up and go over to the other side. And again, lift and twist. And come back to the center. Change the cross of your legs. Again, find your ease. You might even need to get higher. I have people who sit on blocks, 2 blankets, 3 blankets. They get themselves up. If your knees are really high, it's going to make you feel so much better if you can get your hip point above your knee. Bring your arms up and overhead. Draw your belly in, a lift up. And then side bend. Really extend as you take it over. Come back up, sweep the right arm up. You're going to reach and take it over. Feel that stretch up the side body. And come on up. Just bring your palms together down the front of the body. Come up onto all fours. Moving into an extended child's, tuck your toes under, press the palms, reach your hips up, give yourself a nice stretch right through the shoulders. And then come on up, step your right foot up between your hands and release your hips forward. It is tricky to get a good stretch for the psoas. And we are going to end this class before we move into Shavasana with the official stretch for the psoas, if you will, that's part of the psoas series. Lunges can get into the psoas. So what you're going to do is grab your block, place it behind, next to your right hip, behind your right foot, and come up. You can bring this foot back slightly so you have more of a right angle at that front knee. Now the block is just there for balance. If you don't have a block, you can use a wall, a chair, or you might not need anything. So draw your tailbone under and come forward a little. You're going to feel a really deep groin stretch. And then what you want to do is bring the left arm up and reach to that arm as you side bend just a little bit over to the right. So the block is there for balance. If you don't need it, you can also just reach down with that hand and come forward as you do this. You're going to feel a really deep, deep groin stretch. And then come on down. Bring your block up by the top of your feet, and you are going to take the back foot up and move into Uttanasana. You can start with knees bent, get long through your body. And then scoop up with your heart, bring your arms out to the side, up and overhead, lift your heart arc up. And then swan dive, come forward. We're gonna go to the other side. So step your right foot back, drop your knee, grab your block, place it on by the left hip, and then come up, bring the front foot back slightly because you're looking for that right angle at your knee. And you're gonna draw the tailbone under as you come forward. Start to feel that stretch, it's pretty intense. And then sweep the right arm up. You're gonna reach up and give yourself a little bit of a side bend as you get a stretch right in, deep into that psoas. And then release and come on down. Step your front foot back. Move back into your extended child's. And then release all the way back into child's pose. Round all the way down. And relax. And then come on up. Okay, now we're going to move into our last stretch for the psoas. This is the officially part of the 3-part psoas release. And you will need your block for this. And we'll go right from this into Savasana. So if you want to put on your socks, and if you normally have a blanket underneath your knees, have a blanket handy. You might not need it as a result of the psoas release. It's that good. So come on down. Grab your block and place your hips up on the block. Now, this is where if you feel like this is too high, you can definitely find something smaller. A half block or a smaller book. Now, the goal here is to really begin sinking down and letting your hips get really heavy. We're working on the connective tissue all around the sacrum here. So you want everything to get heavy. You want your ribs to release. Feel your breath in your belly. Relax. Let your hips get even heavier. Now moving into the stretch, start by bringing your left knee up toward your chest. You're just going to hold on to the knee loosely. Then extend your right leg and get right into the middle of your heel, toes point up, and extend really hard through that leg. I want you to reach, reach, reach so you even begin to feel a stretch perhaps across the top of your hip. Then draw your left knee in and you're looking for that point where you start to pull this leg back, and you'll find a moment where you feel a stretch right through the inner groin area, inner thigh of the right leg. So the left leg is as relaxed as you can make it, while the right leg is very active. You're reaching through that leg. Feel your breath in your belly. Changing legs, set your left foot down, draw your right knee up into your chest, and again, you're holding onto it loosely. As you reach through the left leg, you're going to find the extension through the left leg, and then slowly draw your right knee in. As you reach through the left leg, relax your shoulders. Breathe, feel that stretch through the inner groin, inner thigh area. Change legs. We'll do one more time to each side. Left knee in, right leg out, reach. Draw the knee in, relax. Again, left leg's relaxed, right leg is active, shoulders. They need to be engaged to draw the knee in, but you don't need to hold extra tension there, right? Just let it go. And then change sides one more time. Last one. And then release. Toes down, hips up. Take the block out. And first of all, when you sit down, just notice if the back of your pelvis feels flatter. And then extend your legs and test that laying flat. Notice if you feel flatter, right? Do you feel more grounded, a little closer to the earth? Now, if you still need a blanket, go ahead and add that blanket underneath your thighs. Do whatever you need to do to find your really comfortable Shavasana. Bring your breath back to your belly. For just a few intentional rounds, you're breathing into the belly and giving yourself a long, slow exhalation. Feeling your whole body get heavier as it sinks down into your mat, into the floor. Let your legs get even heavier, softening your toes, the soles of your feet, your ankles, all the way up your legs to your hips. Bring even more softness up your spine, relaxing your lower back, your mid-back, your shoulder blades. Letting your head get really heavy. Relax down your arms all the way to the fingertips. And relax your jaw and your tongue. Your forehead. Let everything go. And enjoy your Shavasana. Begin to bring movement back into your body, deepening your breath, moving your fingers and your toes. Slowly bend your knees and roll to one side, bringing yourself into as much of a little ball here as you can. Make a pillow with your bottom arm and just rest for a moment. Keeping your head heavy, eyes closed, press yourself up to sitting. Take a moment to find the quiet in your body, your mind. Doesn't that feel good? So Psoas is so grounding. It really is a wonderful thing to do, especially if you are feeling a lot of stress, anxiety. I recommend the Psoas release. So if you want to check out the live workshop or the video workshop, you can check below or join me for Saturday morning Psoas release class. All the links are below. Thanks for joining me. I hope you feel a whole lot better, and I'll see you in the next class.